Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
And hello and welcome to another edition of Talking Golf with Gary, episode number 153 for February 27th, 2012. And I hope everybody had a great week. We may sound a little different this week as we are back in our studio, as last week we were on the road and had some video as well as some audio problems. In case you don't know, we are now doing the show as also as a video podcast, as well as the audio podcast on Podomatic.com, and had some problems on the road. Didn't bring my whole get up with me, so we had to improvise, but did get an episode out and had a great time on vacation, well rested, and really enjoyed the what was lovely weather. And it's great to be back, though, in the studio and doing this the right way, and I hope it's going to work out the video. As I said, we are trying something new, and it's been an education, as this is a one-man operation running both the audio and the video as we move ahead and try this. But there was moving ahead for Hunter Mahan, as he had a big week and took down the number one player in the world, or the potential number one player in the world, as Hunter Mahan, as I said, stopped Rory McIlroy's march to the top-ranked player by winning the match play championship on Sunday. Mahan won 4 holes in a 5-hole stretch, starting with a 9-iron to 2 feet on the 6th hole and building a 4-up lead through 10. Even as McIlroy threw his best stuff at him on the back 9, Mahan responded with 2 clutch birdies to stay in control. Mahan won 2-1 to capture his second World Golf Championship title. McIlroy defeated Lee Westwood in the semifinals on Sunday morning, a high-stakes match because if either of them won the match play championship, they would replace Luke Donald atop the world ranking. Mahan made sure that didn't happen, at least for this week. He played 96 holes in his 6 matches and had 35 birdies on his scorecards. Mahan defeated Mark Wilson in his semifinal match, and Wilson was his only opponent all week who had not played in a Ryder Cup or a President's Cup. So Mahan had a tough field to get through to get to the finals. McIlroy, who made 7 birdies in a 10-hole stretch on Sunday morning to beat Lee Westwood, couldn't muster any magic in the afternoon as he missed a 4-foot par putt that would have won the opening hole, then fell behind with a series of mistakes. On the 7th hole, with Mahan already in trouble in a deep collection area left of the green, McIlroy pulled his short iron and joined him there. But it took McIlroy 2 chips to get on the green, and he lost the hole with a double bogey. Then McIlroy's sand wedge hopped over the green on the par 5 8th, and he lost that hole with a bogey. Mahan's big lead was enough to withstand the McIlroy charge. The 22-year-old from Northern Ireland played the opening 6 holes on the back 9 in 5 under, but still picked up only 1 hole on Mahan. Mahan became the first American to win the match play championship since Tiger Woods in 2008. He became only the 6th player to win multiple WGC titles, joining Woods, Phil Mickelson, Ernie Els, Jeff Ogilvy, and Darren Clark. In the consolation match, Wilson played the 18th hole for the first time all week and defeated Westwood 1-up. And an unknown, relatively unknown, won the Mayakoba Classic as John Ha defeated Robert Allenby in 8 playoff holes. This went a long time, this one. And Allenby had the lead going into the final hole, but he double bogeyed the 72nd hole to force the playoff with John Herr. Herr parred the 8th hole of a playoff to beat Robert Allenby and win the Mayakoba Golf Classic on Sunday. Making only his 5th PGA Tour start, Herr parred all 8 holes in the playoff that matched the second longest in PGA Tour history. The 21-year-old Herr closed with an 8 under 65 to match Allenby at 13 under on the Seaside El Chameleon course. Allenby had a 2-stroke lead with a hole to play in regulation, but the 40-year-old Australian got that double bogey, and that put him into the tie. The playoff fell 3 holes short of the PGA Tour record of 11 set in the 1949 Motor City Open when Kerry Middlecoff and Lloyd Mangrum were declared co-winners. The playoff was the 5th to go 8 holes and first since the 1983 Phoenix Open. Matt Every and Colt Knost shot 66 to tie for 3rd, 2 strokes back. Chris Stroud was a stroke behind, entering the final hole, but also made a double bogey for a 71 to drop into a tie for 5th at 10 under with 3rd round leader Daniel Summerhays. Also tied for 5th was Dickie Pride and Alejandro Canizares. Summerhays closed with a 73, and Pride and Canizares shot 66. Herr eagled the par 5 5th and had 6 birdies in his bogey-free final round. He finished in the top 12 in 2 of his first PGA Tour starts, tying for 6th at Torrey Pines and tying for 12th the following week at the Phoenix Open. And Angela Stanford won for the first time in 3 years as she captured her 5th career tour victory on the 3rd playoff hole at the $1.4 million HSBC Women's Champion on Sunday. Stanford shot even par on the last playoff hole, beating South Korea's Jenny Shin into joint second with China's Shan Feng and Na Yin Choi of South Korea. Feng was eliminated at the first playoff hole, Choi at the second at the Tanah Merah Country Club. Stanford, a 34-year-old Texan who hadn't won since 2009, said it was an emotional victory. Stanford, who earned $210,000 for the win, trailed Shin by a shot after the 17th when play was suspended for about 90 minutes because of lightning. When play resumed, Shin hit her tee shot out of bounds, leading to a double bogey. Stanford shot a bogey on 18 to fall into the 4-way tie at 10 under. The 19-year-old Shin, who turned professional in 2010 and has competed in 18 LPGA tournaments, said her inexperience may have had led to her jitters at the 18th hole. Top-ranked Yanni Zhang began the third round at 1 under, but a 5 under 67 on Saturday and a 4 under 32 on the first 9 holes Sunday put her in a brief tie for the lead with Shin. A disastrous double bogey on 10 and another bogey on 14 pushed her back down the leaderboard, and she finished 5th, 1 shot behind the leaders after 72 holes. Stanford started the day tied for the lead with Shin and Katie Futcher, who faltered Sunday with 5 bogeys for a 4 over 76 and finished tied for 11th. Kari Webb, who won last year in Singapore, shot a 2 under 70 to finish 9 shots off the lead to tie for 25th place. American Michelle Wie had another disappointing round with a 75 and was 32 shots behind the leaders. Wie finished the tournament second to last, ahead of only Singapore amateur Sak Gui Ko. The tournament featured a field of 63 golfers, including 18 of the 20 top-ranked players when play started on Thursday. So it was a tough field and a good field and a good win for Angela Stanford to take home that title and get back on the winning her winning ways. So congrats to Angela Stanford on a nice win in Singapore. And we are going to take a break and be back in a few minutes right after a few messages. For all the listeners of Talking Golf with Gary, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. Over 75,000 titles to choose from in many different categories, including science fiction, mysteries, biographies, sports, computers, you name it, they have it. To download your free audiobook today, go to audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary. Again, that's audiblepodcast.com/Talking Golf with Gary for your free audiobook today. You can now hear our show while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. On-demand news, talk, and more on your mobile phone. The latest episode is always available for you, no syncing needed and no memory or storage wasted. Available for your iPhone, Android phone, WebOS phone, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out your app store. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
This is Barry from Mets Musings. Be sure to tune in weekly to Gary and myself at Mets Musings at Podomatic.com and also on iTunes.
And we are back. And don't forget, if you'd like to be a part of the show, you can drop us an email at talkinggolf@gmail.com. That's talkinggolf@gmail.com. And if you prefer, you can give us a call on a 24-hour voicemail comment hotline, feedback line, ask a question or send a comment or whatever. You can call that number, and that's 516-619-6341. 516-619-6341. And in other golf news, as soon as let's see, the PGA Tour is keeping the FedEx Cup for at least 5 more years with a significant sponsorship renewal. Commissioner Tim Finchem announced on last Wednesday that FedEx has extended its umbrella sponsorship through 2017. That's the final piece of sponsorship renewal that the tour navigated through a troubling economic crisis. Finchem already has kept the PGA Tour fully sponsored. Only Tampa is missing a title sponsor, along with extending the television agreement through 2021. Now it can keep its FedEx Cup, which culminates with 4 big events and a $10 million bonus for the winner. Finchem did not get into financial details, though he says there will be some growth during the next 5 years. The FedEx Cup offers a total bonus pool of $35 million. And Paula Creamer, the number 5 ranked ladies player in the world, withdrew after the second round for family reasons. Apparently, Paula is fine and will not miss any future tournaments. And that's good news, because the last couple of years, Paula has been battling some nagging injuries. So hopefully this is not an injury, and hopefully it's a minor family issue, and she'll be back. According to all reports, she will not miss any tournaments. And Mike Weir, the former Masters winner, entered this season on a non-exemption medical extension, giving him 3 starts to earn $644,854 U.S. to retain his tour card. Weir made his first start at the AT&T Pebble Beach National Pro-Am 2 weeks ago, where he missed the cut, and made his second start at the Mayakoba Golf Classic, where he also missed the cut. Weir's third start will be at the Honda Classic this coming weekend in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida. They and he really has to go some ways to make that much money. He may have to win that tournament to keep his tour card. There are other options for Weir to utilize in order to play on the tour right away, specifically his ability to exercise a 2-year exemption due to his ranking 15th on the career monies list. And according to his agent, however, he is a bit hesitant to use that option at this point in his career. I can understand that you don't want, he's still a number of years away from the Champions Tour, and you really don't want to use all the options that you have. But if he doesn't do something spectacular this weekend in the Honda Classic, he may have to utilize that or run the risk of Monday qualifying or asking sponsors for exemptions. So good luck to Mike this week, and we'll see, where it takes him. And let's move on to birthdays.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday! Celebration anew! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
And this week, the birthdays are a little thin. We have, for today, it would have been Gene Saracen's birthday. He was born in 1902, and he would be 110. That was the 27th, was Saracen's birthday. And on March the 2nd, it is the, the 54th birthday of Ian Woosnam. And on March the 3rd, it would have been Julius Burrows' 92nd birthday. And it is Keith Fergus's 58th birthday, and that's March 3rd. So happy birthday to Keith. And on March 4th, Judy Dickinson turned 62. Judy Dickinson of the LPGA won the 1985 Boston 5 Classic. And that's the birthdays. A little thin, but let's go to the calendar.
Now it's time to do the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar. Oh, hooray, let's sing the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar.
And the calendar of tournaments that are coming up this week is, as we already mentioned, the PGA begins its Florida swing with the Honda Classic, where Rory Sabatini will be the defending champion. And the ladies are off, the Champions Tour is off, and the European Tour is off. So that leaves the Nationwide Tour, but they will be in action playing at the Panama Claro Championship, where Matthew Goggin is the defending champion. He won the 2011 event. And that's the calendar for this upcoming week as we see who can get their game straightened out. And Tiger will be playing at the Honda Classic. And I did want to mention that we did get an email from our good buddy Jerry from Long Island. And Jerry, of course, is our prognosticator, and he is picking Spencer Levin to win the Honda Classic. So we'll see how well Jerry makes out on his pick of Spencer Levin next week. And don't forget, you can check out the podcast weekly. Usually the audio podcast is up at tgwg.podomatic.com, as well as on iTunes. You can also get the podcast now on Stitcher Smart Radio, and you can get that free app at stitcher.com/talkinggolfwithgary, as well as on iTunes, TuneIn. That's a new one, tunein.com. We just got on that service, and they're terrific services, especially if you have an iPhone, an Android phone, a BlackBerry phone, any kind of cell phone that has apps, and also some of the late model cars now can get apps in their stereo systems, and you can get the show right in your car if you're fortunate to have one of them. And you can view the video of the podcast now at YouTube under the name Duffer Sports. That's DUFFERSPORTS. And also at Vimeo, also under Duffer Sports. So check out the video of the podcast. And while you're online, please visit the store at www.zazzle.com/Talking Golf with Gary. And there's some fine Talking Golf with Gary gear there. And please pick some up. It does help the show immensely, and helps us to keep going and to keep providing you with this golf recap and golf news every week. And as always, send your questions and comments to talkinggolf@gmail.com, or you can call the voicemail comment hotline at 516-619-6341. So that's going to wrap it up for this week. Enjoy the Honda Classic. We'll be back next week to report on it, and see you on another edition of Talking Golf with Gary. Have a great week, everybody.